Happy Wednesday, folks. Just trying to do a video showing you, haven't done one in a while, so just trying to share what I'm thinking, what's going on, and what's been changing. One thing I try to do every day, just as an FYI, is I just try to do a count of the fish and just kind of scan everybody, and then I'm just looking for their behavior and just to see how they're moving around and what's going on. Things to look for if you have a fish that looks like it's breathing hard. Obviously, ick or any kind of coloration issues, or one that's sitting on the bottom. You want to see them moving around. You will get times when they'll sit on the bottom or go to the top. If they go to the top and you're doing a do-it-yourself CO2, you might want to cut back on it, because chances are they're having a hard problem getting air or oxygen. And there's times when I've seen them sit on the bottom, especially like this guy. I just wanted to show you. This guy's sitting over here on the bottom. And sometimes you get a fish that's just old, and he's kind of spooked now, but he was sitting on the bottom earlier, and I don't know if it was because he was hot or he just really liked that flow rate coming out through those plants. A lot of them really like to hang out back here in this back corner, and it's just kind of dark now. But just an FYI, things to watch for. I did find part of a fish this morning down over in here, and I have no idea who it was. And that's just something that you have a problem with a large tank. But I'll let you know that, genetically, you're not going to have a fish that lives forever. So they're only going to live for so long, and really what you try to do is just try to keep them happy and healthy. Another thing I'll tell you is, whenever I see only one angel, here, let me step back a little bit. Whenever I only see one angel in the front and the other one's in the back hiding, that usually means 99% of the time that they have laid eggs again, especially when you have a breeding pair, because they tend to want to be they're a schooling fish. See how it's kind of going back to the back? Just an FYI on that. And I will also show you, I know some people have kind of asked about the parameters on this tank, and I did this earlier. I did a litmus test, but let me see if I can try to. I don't know how well this is going to work, because some cameras don't do a good job of picking up the colors as well. But I will show you. Let's see. Here's kind of see if I do this. This might work better. Give you an idea what we're looking at. So here's kind of the colors on my chart. And then what I'll just kind of tell you is, when I look at this, I'm in the safe zone on the nitrate. The nitrite was almost perfectly clear. This kind of faded some. It's kind of faded. But my pH is on the acid side, and alkalinity is kind of low. And I also did the nitrate test. This is what this is. You put it in for 10 seconds, and it came out perfect. Which makes sense, because I have live plants. But whenever you find a dead fish, it's always good to instantly do test your water quality. And sometimes you get one that it was damaged at the store, or damaged when they shipped it air. You just never know. And sometimes you get one that's got, some weird genetic issue. But that's neither here nor there. But I had somebody ask me about the plants. And the challenge, I think, on a tank like this is you want to give yourself space, you want to give yourself room, and then you just kind of have to have a plan of what you want to do. For me, the challenge has been having the gaps. And if you go, when I first had this tank, these plants weren't developed. And what I basically did, and this is just so you guys know, some people ask me this, what I did is I looked at the max size for the plant when I ordered them. And I ordered, a bunch of plants. I got a plan. I wanted to do, there's a ruffle plant and swords. And then the other thing that I try to do is this is just me, but I try to transition from big leaf plants to small leaf plants from left to right. And that's kind of what I did. And then this was kind of a transitional, in the middle there, different, small leaf. And then just tried to mix it up. And then I had some Nano Anubias. The driftwood, if you look in the very beginning of the channel, the tank had artificial wood, and I hated it. And I actually went and found these pieces just along a riverbank, just looking for things that had character. This had some really neat knots on it and had really neat character, and it was what I was looking for. It's a little harder to do with a smaller tank. This is a 120, so it's 4 feet by 2 feet and 2 feet tall, so had plenty of room there. And speaking of watching fish, this guy hasn't really moved. That really makes me nervous to see. Speaking of what I was saying, make sure this guy is all right. Yeah, he is. He was just hiding. Well, so anyway, but I'm going to do a water change soon, and I haven't really done big water changes on this one, on this tank. But I usually do, and Beer Belly was the one that got on to me about this, but what I'll usually do is I'll do a minor water change, and by that I'm just trying to siphon up the ground and the gravel and loose food debris, things like that, or that kind of stuff you see on the bottom, and just really kind of clean it up, scrub it, clean the glass, maybe some minor plant trimmings, and so for example, this guy's going to need a little bit of trimming, and then I've got the lily pads that are going to choke out this guy, but just do that, and then maybe every 3 weeks I'm starting to do like a 30% water change, which is about right in here. Let me step back. Well, it's give you an idea. It's about a third. But that's kind of what I'm doing with this tank here. And I turn the light off so we don't get the glare. But that's pretty much it on this one. And what I'm going to say is, what you'll notice if you go look at the original videos, I had an idea where I wanted to put plants and what I thought they would feel. And I got the maximum height for the plants, and the ones that were going to get taller, unlimited, I moved to the back. What I found out after I planted them is, based on my water and my water conditions and my tank and my lights, some plants did really well, some plants didn't do well. A perfect example of a plant that I almost lost that totally melted is this one in the back. And it's just really starting to kind of flourish now that it's rooted. But some plants, just your chemistry, your pH, your water hardness, there's just something about your tank they don't like. And of course, this crazy plant right here, this water sprite has just gone off the hook. And the wisteria for me doesn't do that well. Tends to stay low, doesn't go high. But I mean, look at that little branch right there, if you can see it. I mean, it's just got unbelievable detail, and you can see it curling out. Looks gorgeous. And then, I mean, it's even coming out of the tank. But and there's a Fuella back there in the back, if you can see it. But it, kind of hiding down in there. There's a better view. But with the plants, you just kind of move them around and experiment. And there's a place, if you go look where I'm moving the roots for one of the plants, it's this lace plant. Everybody got on me about having this lace plant right up in front. And so I moved it to the back. And some of these swords don't get as tall, like this Oriental sword. It does good, but it's not getting really tall. So I moved it to the front. And just kind of live and learn with that. But so that's this tank. This tank's done really well. It was Planted it all brand new in June of last year. And if you go look at the original videos on the channel, you can see what it looked like. You can get an idea of some of the mistakes I've made, as well as how these plants have filled out. The challenge to me with the planted tank is how to give the plants room to grow and how to give yourself space. So, you know, I purposely try to have some space here. And if you'll notice, I even cut, you know, this baby tier was going all the way out to here. And I want to try to keep it low and crawling, but I like to give myself some space, you know, and give the Cory cats, you know, some ground to walk on. And speaking of, remember when I said earlier, so he's just kind of hanging out on the bottom? I don't know if he's hot. I don't know if he's not feeling well. Who knows? He knows, but I can't talk to the animals. I'm not Dr. Doolittle, but and by the way, I'm running highlight right now. There's a LEDs on here and the LEDs on here, so if you look, I'm actually running 4 bulbs, and I've got it open flow. I'm running it full bore right now, which is really busy, and the reason that I'm doing that is I'm going to do a water change later today, and I just wanted to get everything moving, get it rolling. And I like to turn this thing wide open in the middle of the day, just to give them a chance to get some exercise, actually. And then I try to cut it back in the evening so that it's easy for them to sleep, if that makes sense. All right, enough on that. And I actually turned the light off on this, and final point I'm going to make, and I will try to, let me turn my light on. Sorry, you're going to see just the wall. But what I'm going to try to do is post a video after I get done, and I haven't done any maintenance on these tanks, I don't know, week and a half, probably. And so this tank, let me tell you what I don't like about this tank. Speaking of planted tanks, what I do not like about this tank is I'm not giving myself, there's too much in here. And by that I mean this plant is taking over the front, and I don't have a good transition of foreground to midground to background plants. So what I'm going to do, this is a plan, and let me do a top down for you, so you can kind of get an idea of the front corner there. You can see how crowded that is. That's ridiculous. And then you can kind of see where the stump, and I love that stump, by the way. I actually found that in the local pet store. Great find. Just a lot of character. But so here's what I'm planning on doing, and let me tell you why, and some people may or may not like it. But this Christmas moss, man, I love that look. I love that effect. I love how it's crawling down and branching out. This little foreground, I'm not sure I'm going to say it right, but the Riccia, I love that in there, and I'm hoping it'll just kind of fill out like a moss. And what I want to do is I'm actually going to pull all that off, because what I don't want to do is I don't want to completely cover this wood. I want it's just too pretty of a piece of wood. I want people to be able to see it. But so here's the plan for this tank. As the plant grows, or as the plants grow and fill out your tank, you have to figure out what you want to do and why. The challenge for me, this is just me, is when my plants start getting too big, what are my options? And so I actually have taken a few plants out of the big 120 back for credit at the local fish store. This plant right here, I'm probably just going to take it back to them and get credit. This one right in the front. And the reason is I need a foreground transition. This thing's just right in your face, right up in the front. And it's even taller than some of the plants that are behind it, which is a big no-no in my opinion. The other thing I want to do is I want to clean this up right here so that you get a transition of this wood going into the gravel. And you just get to see that really pretty piece of wood. And then it gives these foreground plants right in here just a chance to grow and fill that out. And that's kind of what I want to do, and I want to have a gap there. Just my thoughts, and then this baby tier here can crawl on out and fill that foreground. But I like to see some gravel. I don't want it all plants. I know some people like it where it's just, you look in the tank and all you see are plants and you can't even hardly find fish. That's not what I'm going for here. I do love how the Bacopa is filling that out, and you can see the money wort kind of popping up in the back there. The lace plant here, the reason I picked the lace plant is because I've got high flow here. And, you know, I haven't even really done a water change on this lately. I've added water, but I haven't really changed the water. And it needs it. But anyway, that's kind of an update. That's what's going on. Got to do some work on this thing later today. And after I do the work and I make some changes, I will try to post a video just to give you guys an idea of, you know, before and after. And but the beauty is, you know, once you get these things going, you don't really have to do a lot of work. So, but I appreciate everybody watching, and thanks for all the new subscribers, and happy Wednesday. You guys have a great week, and I will try to post this up soon. And after I do all my maintenance, I'll try to post a video so you guys can see before and after. But appreciate everybody watching. Hope everybody has a great day. Take care. Thanks.